All right, this is for the VIP members, the brand. Now we're going to get to see my big, black, beautiful friend. And I'm talking about Devon. Look at him. Look at him, bro. Hey, Devon, I got to tell you, bro, it's a little frightening because last week I had my other big, black, beautiful friend on, Stevie Ray. Now I got you, bro. Two very handsome men.
Listen, I'm just saying. I mean, I can't help how good looking I am, man.
Yeah,
I
you are a
can't.
good-looking man, bro. I got to give you that.
I am. I'm 25 years old and going great. Let me tell you.
Hey, now, Devon, I want to pick up this conversation where we left it off. Big WWE now, bro. Big WWE. Get there. I'll never forget the meeting we had with Vince where Mark the Mouth LaMonaco said about 3 words, bro. 3 words that day. I'll never forget it. But you're in the WWE. What was that?
I said one.
Well, that's all right, but he only said 3, bro. But a great meeting. You guys get hired in the WWE. Couple questions I want to ask you. From the boys' perspective. Obviously with me, bro, I don't care if you're from WWE. It doesn't matter to me. If you're a talent, you're on the show, I'm writing you in. I could care less. But now, bro, is there a lot of added pressure on you guys coming from ECW to the WWE, and are the boys looking at you a little differently? Are you accepted right away? Because like you said, bro, there were a lot of veterans that didn't like that style. All of a sudden now you got these 2 guys who made a living. You're going through tables, chairs, tables on fire, the whole 9 yards. How was it early on in WWE, Devon?
Well, every experience that I've had with that company has been very, very good. I can honestly say the 5.5 years that, we were there, we had great times. But when we first got there, we were welcomed, but I think people were very, very, iffy because Public Enemy had came in and really rubbed the people the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And it was just one of those things where, okay, they rubbed people the wrong way, and they got rid of them the way they did. And, APA did a number on them. So it was one of those things where, okay, now who's coming from ECW? Oh, it's the Dudley Boyz. Well, let's just see. Let's just throw them right away. Let's throw them right in there with APA, and that's exactly what they did. And, the first thing you had us do was lay APA out with 2x4s. Why? I have no idea, because we did not know that Ron and John were coming at us like bulls, and they sure as hell did. And when they did come at us, it was one of those things where we earned their respect. I'll never forget, we did a promo because we had just laid them out on SmackDown with 2x4s, and now we're with Michael Cole and we're sitting up there and saying that we're the Dudley Boyz and we're coming to WWE, to show that we're the greatest tag team and we belong here and blah blah blah. And John and Ron are sitting there like 2 bulls waiting to come and crash in to beat the hell out of us. And the cue was, when I say thou shalt not mess with the Dudleys, here they come, boom, boom, boom. Bubba does his stuttering thing, and he starts doing what he's doing, and then all of a sudden I go, if there's one thing the Acolytes are going to learn, is the 3 commandments. Number 1, thou shalt not steal. And I can see Bradshaw like a bull, foaming at the mouth, waiting. And I went, number 2, thou shalt not steal. And I could just see Ron with his hand going, yeah, you go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say that. Go ahead and say it. And I went, oh boy. In my mind, I'm like, and within 3 to 4 seconds, you can have a whole conversation in your brain. Uh-huh. And I remember having this whole conversation, and I went, they're gonna beat the hell out of us. And I went, thou shalt not. And I stopped. And Bubba gave me that little nudge, like, come on. I went, mess with the Dudleys. Dang, they came in. They literally beat the hell out of us. And before that even happened, what I didn't realize was the whole locker room came to the set, because we were all saying to each other, we was like, why the hell is everybody here watching us do the promo? I was like, this is a normal promo. we didn't know that they were going to beat the hell out of us.
Mm-hmm.
So when they hit us, they started beating our asses. Now, remember that 55-pound drum that said "Raw is War"?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was legit, and I didn't know that you guys actually put stuff in there. Ron Simmons, Farouk, picked that damn thing up like it was a chair, and just went wham, wham, wham. And I remember I said, "Oh my God!" And I'm screaming. I'm like, "Oh God, please! Oh God!" Please. And I'm running up, and then all of a sudden I heard you go and cut. And we jumped up. And we went, whoo, thank you guys. And everybody looked and went, oh my God. And we were like, oh, bro, this is nothing. I mean, this is like typical ECW stuff. You know, we did this all the time.
Oh,
and I went to Ron and I said, hey, Ron, I said, thank you, man. He goes, no problem, Devin. I said, hi, Mr. Simmons. I said, it's Devon. He goes, that's what I said, Devin. And I said, my name is Devin.
That's great, bro. That's tremendous.
So then I remember, because that drum hurt, and I remember going into the bathroom, and I remember going, oh God, and I went on one knee. I went, oh God, my back. And I heard the toilet flush, and I went, oh shit, what? And it was Kane. He came out, and I jumped up, and I went, hey, how you doing? He goes, man, that was a hell of a beating. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, that stuff we do all the time in ECW. He goes, ooh, man, you guys, welcome to WWE. I said, thank you, man, thank you. And he walked out, and I looked in the locker room, and I did one of these. I went, and I looked underneath the stall, and nobody was in there, and I just went, oh God, my back.
Bro, I thought you were gonna tell me it was Bubba in the stall puking.
No, I don't know where Bubba went.
Hey, Devon, I want to ask you about this, bro. Listen to this, Devon, because this fascinates me, bro. And it's so funny, bro. The 2 weeks came back to back, and I swear I didn't do it by design. It's just the way the guests fell. I was talking to Stevie last week at WCW, and he was talking to me about the 4 tag teams in competition during his heyday at WCW. Bro, Harlem Heat, Steiner Brothers, Nasty Boys, and Road Warriors. Okay?
Oh,
now, bro, let's look at your situation. The Dudley Boys, APA, the Hardys, Christian and Edge. I got to ask you this, Devin. I got to ask you this. Devin, listen, Devon, what happened to tag team wrestling? Why is it a lost art where you had 4 teams at one time that will all probably go into the WWE Hall of Fame? Bro, now if you get one team that's halfway decent, you're lucky. What happened?
Well, you look at the WWE, and it's always been a single man's company, and I think everybody knows that. It was just one of those things where Vince, I think, fell upon tag teams at the time, especially in WWE, whether it was the Andre and Hogan era, because you had the Hart Foundation, you had the Killer Bees. I mean, you had all these great tag teams of that era, and then the tag teams of our era. It was just we had it. I mean, it was just the tag teams were just they were. How do I say this? I guess it's simple to say that they were legit tag team guys. Where nowadays you just put 2 guys together, and sometimes it just doesn't click. I mean, with the exception of, I think, the tag team you got in the Usos, who were brothers and came in as a tag team, they were legit. But then you have so many of these other guys that are just put together, and they don't last long. Me and Bubba were put together from day one, so we learned how to be a tag team. We learned how to become one, so to speak. And I think that's probably some of the problems. And again, when you have a territory like the WWE that has always been known as a single man's company, if you don't have that special spark with your partner, that can actually be a legit tag team, then it's just not going to work. And I just think that's what the problem is. You don't have legit tag teams anymore.
Well, Devon, you know what else I think it is, bro? And you can comment on this more than anybody. Listen, I think more and more and more, and I hate this, bro. I hate this about the wrestling business. I think more and more and more and more, bro, we're getting away from the psychology of the match, which is what wrestling is. It's going from psychology to the flip-flop and flying, and nothing knocks anybody out, and it's just going to that style rapidly. And I think that has a lot to do with it, bro, because, Devon, first of all, there's psychology of a wrestling match, but there's another level of psychology when tag team wrestling is involved. So there's so much psychology that goes into it, and that's why I think the more we get away from that into the high flying, flip-flop and flying around, I think that's why you're just not seeing those tag teams anymore.
I agree with that also, but again, it's just one of those things where, like you said, psychology means a lot, and if you don't have that, then you don't have tag team wrestling anymore. It's gone. It's a lost art. So that's the one thing about me and Bubba, is that no matter where we are or where we go, that we make sure that always, we take that textbook that we learned it from, and we keep it in our back pocket, and we make sure we follow by those rules, because that's what got us where we were. That's what got us where we are, so to speak. So my thing is, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Hey, bro, Devon, if you look at wrestling history right now, and I mean, who knows where you and Bubba go? Who knows? But, bro, if you look at it right now, the Dudley Boyz, Team 3D, you may be the last of the great tag teams in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I mean, we hear that a lot, and I might somewhat agree with that. I mean, because right now, again, you've got to look at who is going to be that tag team to take over, when me and Bubba are really done. Right now, I mean, again, you have the Usos, who are very good, and, Rikishi's boys. I remember when they used to come around, as youngsters and come and watch their dad in our era, go at it. So they know what it has to do to be a tag team. They were brought up in that. They know. They have a family history of it,
But that's it, bro. I mean, that's it. I mean, there's nobody else, bro. Don't be throwing me the Ascension, bro. I might be able to take those two guys in a handicap match. So let's not go there, bro. I agree with you on the Usos, the Heritage, but bro, who else, bro? Who else is there?
Well, again, I mean, that's where tag team wrestling has to be made, and we have to come back to the fundamentals, like you said. We have to come back to the psychology to bring it back.
But Devon,
come back.
I don't want to just I'm sorry to interrupt you, Devon, but bro, you know what else pisses me off nowadays, Devon? Because I'm trying to figure out how these things happened. Okay, bro. Again, let's look at the Dudley Boyz, APA, Harlem Heat, Steiner Brothers, Legion of Doom. What did all you guys have in common, bro? You look like wrestlers. Yeah. Right? You look, bro, the casual television audience wants the wrestler to look a certain way. You want to look at your TV screen and you want to be afraid to run into Devin in a back alley someplace. You really want to be afraid. Bro, no offense, but you throw a team in the ring like the Wolves that are 5'3" and 120 pounds soaking wet. Bro, to me, they don't look like wrestlers. I think that's why the business is losing the casual fan. They want wrestlers to look like wrestlers, bro.
Well, there's no question that, the wrestlers of today have gotten a lot smaller. I mean, and for whatever reason that might be. I mean, I remember growing up and going to Madison Square Garden and watching the Barbarian and the Warlord, and it was just like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. You see them, and they were just bigger than life. I remember seeing the Warlord walk out of Madison Square Garden, and everybody was just in awe how big this man was. And then here comes Barbarian, and I mean, my God. I mean, both of them were like two walking condominium with legs. I mean, that's just the way it was. Again, in the direction of where it's going now, it's totally different. Like you said, psychology seems to be going away a lot of times. That's why when Bubba and I are in that ring with any young tag team, we make sure that they understand how we do things. And I'll give you a prime example. We were in there with the Motor City Machine Guns. And, they were so used to that flipping and flying in the X Division style that we said, hey, listen, we're not going to do that. We're going to do what we call in this wrestling business Memphis 101. We're going to take that psychology and show you how it is to work without blowing your load in freaking 10 minutes and not having anything in towards the end. And it was so surreal to them, and they didn't understand it. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the match, they said, my God, they said, we had the people eating out of the palm of our hands, and we didn't even touch for the first 5 minutes of the match. I go, exactly. And they said they actually knew who the heels were and who the babyface was. I said, yeah, because we told a story. The people, that's what they want. They want to be able to be told a story. They want to be able to boo the heels and cheer the babyfaces. That's exactly what they want to do. It's good versus evil. They want good to conquer evil. That's exactly. Again, it's Memphis 101. Yay, boo. Yay, boo. That's exactly what they want. And I think sometimes that's what a lot of guys are missing and they don't have.
Yeah. Hey, Devon, I want to bring this up. And listen, bro, I have to ask you this question because I feel strongly about this.
No, I didn't get your lunch and catering that time.
No, not that. And I mean, bro, I know you gotta be a little politically correct to a sense. I know, bro. I know you want to, obviously keep all doors open and everything like that. But there are certain questions I want to ask you that all my doors are shut, bro. So I can ask all these questions. I don't have nothing to worry about. I made sure they were slammed, they were burned, they were torched. Bro, 2005. You guys. First of all, let me ask you this, bro. You were only there for 5 years. And bro, obviously we see the Big Shows and the Canes and the Mark Henrys, and I mean you see guys that are there well over a decade. So you guys had a lot of gas in the tank. What happened with your departure from WWE? Why do you think that decision was made?
Well, I do know that Bubba and I were getting burnt out and we were tired because we were on the road for so long. You got to understand something too. We went from ECW straight to WWE's TV. We didn't take a week or 2 weeks, break or anything like that. We did the last TV taping for ECW on a Thursday or Friday night at the Elks Lodge in Queens, New York, and we were right on Monday Night Raw that Monday. So we didn't take a break. We had been on TV for so long, and you know how we were, Vince. Basically, even when we were hurt, we were in that ring.
Absolutely, no doubt, bro. You guys, bro. I've seen a lot of guys phone it in, bro. Never, you guys, ever, bro, ever.
And we didn't believe in that, and that was just the way we were brought up in this business. When you were hurt, you suck it up, and you went in there and you did it. Whether it was, my torn pec, Bubba with concussions, me having the flu and being in there, having a bucket at ringside just in case they had to throw me out, not throw up underneath the ring and then come back in. I mean, it really didn't matter, that was just us. And we basically, I think towards 2005, I think we got burnt out. We were a little unhappy because we were just going so much. There was a lot in the tank, but I guess even though we had a year off, it was just kind of, I guess we wanted to do our own thing as well, So when WWE, decided not to, go forward with the contract talks and this and that, we were okay with it. We weren't disappointed. We weren't upset with it. And I know the people, wanted us to still be there and they thought it was wrong and this and that. But something, when you look at it, look at what we did. We went to Japan. You know, we knew we had, if we were going to take over where the Road Warriors left off, we had to be at least go to Japan and do what they did over there, and which is what we did. We went over, we were in All Japan, New Japan, we went to Hustle. I mean, we did all of that, and we conquered it. And then we came back, and we helped build TNA, you know, to a certain level. Especially we brought tag team back to, you know, the business again by helping to develop TNA's tag team division. I mean, you know, it was just something that we probably needed to do without the big giant behind us. And I think in all, when you actually look at it, you know, from a biblical sense, it was like divine intervention that had happened in a sense. Because
I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this, yeah, Devon, and I don't. You don't have to comment on this because again, you know, I don't want to. You still have opportunity, but I have to say this. I will never. It has nothing to do with heat towards WWE or anything like that. I will never agree with them not letting you guys use the name when you left. I mean, to me, that's BS to me. You guys, bro, I could understand if it wasn't somebody that earned the name. You guys gave blood for that name. That is something, bro, that I'll just never, ever agree with, bro. That's me.
Yeah. You know, again, a business decision was made. We were very unhappy with it at first. You know, we wanted to fight it. But at the same token, we came up with Team 3D. And, you know, now we have two names. It's like the LOD, the Legion of Doom, and the Road Warriors.
Right.
Right. They have names. So it's just one of those things where, you know, we were able to still be successful no matter what. So, yeah, I mean, you know, again, we were upset about it, but at the same token, we got over it and moved on. I mean, that was just the way it is.
I want to bring some up now. Let's jump to TNA, Devon, because I want to ask you a couple questions about TNA. You guys started in TNA before I got there. Okay? The minute I walked in the door, bro, you guys had all kinds of heat with Jeff Jarrett. There was all kinds of heat about you. You had a show somewhere else. I don't even know, but there was so kinds of heat. And, bro, Jeff's the old school. If he's got heat with you, he's going to sit. It's Memphis 101. Okay, bro? It's Memphis 101. But I want to ask you this, Devon, and I want you to be honest with me because this had to be a difficult position for you. Okay? I know Mark LaMonaco, and I love Mark LaMonaco, but I wasn't Mark LaMonaco's tag team partner and attached to his hip for 20 years. Okay? Now, Devon, I have to ask you this. There had to be times through that history where it was a good thing having Mark LaMonaco and his mouth and his balls in your corner. But, bro, there also had to be times where it worked against you. As the guy that was the more of the level-headed guy, more of the laid-back guy, how that had to be difficult for you to deal with over the years, bro.
Well, you know, I think it wasn't really difficult because, you know, I think, you know, he was very outspoken and, you know, he was very passionate, you know, for the team. And he was very passionate and believed in what he believed in. I just feel like, for instance, the whole thing that when we left and went to Japan, it really was a misunderstanding. And I think at the time Jeff Jarrett didn't want to see it that way, and he thought we were trying to screw the company, and we really wasn't. We were actually in Japan, and the date was given to us. It was actually wrong. And then so we felt, and it was both of us, it wasn't just him, you know, felt that it was wrong for him to actually assume that we were going to try to screw him or the company when it was just it was really an honest booking mistake. Somebody gave us the wrong date. So when we booked it with Japan, we booked it on the same week that they were supposed to have TV, but we didn't know that. It was the communication that was really, really bad. You know, so that was one of the things that, you know, Bubba took some heat for that I don't think he should have. I think that was wrong because we both thought that. We actually came back on the week that they didn't have the TV because we thought we were coming back for TV tapings. We actually went to the building.
I remember.
And they said, oh, there's no TNA here. And we were like, what? And then we wind up going back to Japan, and then we're being called and said, hey, you guys got to be here. Where are you? We're like, we're in Japan. What are you talking about? We had no clue. So then to come back and be bambooed like that, it was like, wait a minute. No, that's not the case. I think sometimes, a lot of times, again, because Bubba's so passionate about his stance and what he wants, because he really does. Listen, there's one thing we got to say about Bubba. In terms of having a great mind for this business, my God, he can put a match together. He can do things, but wait a minute, when he does that, he's so passionate about it.
Yeah, no, well, bro, but
sometimes it's right.
Devon, here's what it is, bro. Bro, he's got an unbelievable mind. And, bro, listen, I'm Italian. I get the passion level, but you know as well as I do, Devon. I think Bubba will be the first one to tell you this, bro. In wrestling, there are a lot of people that don't understand passion. So
exactly.
when you're being
wrong.
Yeah, when you're being passionate about something, to them you're being a pain in the backside and hard to deal with. But I always knew where Bubba was coming from. But that's what I'm getting at, bro. Because people.
And here's the thing. And wait a minute. Here's the thing, Vince. A lot of times these people would do things and say things that didn't make any sense. And it's like the writing's on the wall. What do you mean you want to do it this way? When what we're saying, and we got other people agreeing that this makes sense, but yet you still want to go in that direction. We don't understand it. It's like pretty much dumbfounding to us. And then all of a sudden, we do what you want to do, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's like it didn't work. Well, we told you it wasn't going to work. You know, and that was one of the things that really, really got underneath his skin. See, I was one of the guys that basically, like to sit back and not say anything and not ruffle anybody's feathers. And Bubba, was kind of like, listen, I'm just going to tell you how it is. This is what it should be. But, if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. But here's what the consequences might be if it don't work out that way.
Yeah.
And then even when he gives you both sides of the scenario, with whatever that person wants to do, it's kind of like, okay, you're stuck on doing that. What if we take your idea and mix it with that? It's like sometimes they didn't even want to do that. They just wanted to go their way, and that was it. And that's what got him a little bit sometimes irate. But you know something? All in all, we did what we were supposed to do. We never told the promoter or anything, hey, we're not going to do that and blah, blah, blah. We went in there and did it to the best of our ability. If it happened and it was successful, then great. If it didn't, then we had to go back to the drawing board.
Hey, Devon, I want to ask you this. I was in the TNA for almost a decade, bro. And listen, there were a lot of guys that came in from the WWE, and all of a sudden, bro, they were the big fish in the little pond, and they couldn't deal with that. And, bro, I knew that because I had worked with them in the other companies. And now I was working with them in TNA, and it was a little pond, and they were the big fish, and they turned into completely different people. I witnessed it, bro. Bro, two people, though, like I think that the people that were really able to deal with that the best were Kurt Angle, first of all, and you guys. How was that never an issue for you psychologically, bro, going from the WWE, all those tremendous TLC matches, WrestleManias, the whole 9 yards, now you go to TNA and it's the little pond. I know you're a professional, bro. I know it's a job, but that's got to affect your psyche at some point, bro.
I think it's all a matter of how you get raised in the business. And, the people that you have around you that tell you things, on how to grow up and how to make it in this business. You sit back, you keep your mouth shut. If you're going to say something, then make sure you say it, get your point across, but then know that it might be rejected. And if it does, there's nothing you can pretty much do about it. You just got to roll with the punches sometimes. And a lot of times it was aggravating. A lot of times, we would drive in the car and just freaking vent with each other. He would say things, I would say things, we would get it out that way. But then at the end of the day, we were getting paid, we were doing what we had to do, we were trying to make their vision happen, and we did it to the best of our ability. It was just one of those things where we just, again, how you brought up in this business will determine how you will handle yourself in situations like that. The
Yeah.
people that have made it in this business, that have been successful, and that have gone through the garbage and overcome it, when you pick their brain to see how they've done that, that's what you have to do. You have to get those people that have been successful, that have been going through crap. Those are the ones that you have to pick their brains because, listen, everything is like a circle. It goes around and around. We might not see it or know what it comes, when it comes at us for the first time, but it's not like it hasn't been done before. Everything that anybody has ever told us of their trials and tribulations of what's gone on in other companies, we see it and we learn from it. And that's exactly what it is.
Hey, Devon, let me ask you this. And this is going to be hard for you to answer if you don't, I got to ask you the question. What did it mean to get put in the TNA Hall of Fame?
It was a good thing because, listen, did I have my trials and tribulations with TNA? Absolutely. Was I frustrated at one point when Bubba and I broke up? Yes. One of the things that I had problems with was the fact that, he was being, he was given the opportunity to learn how to be a singles competitor on TV, where they told me, well, you got to go back there and you got to lose weight and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. It bothered me because we came in here together. We knew what we could both bring to the table. He had his style, I had my style. So him as a heel played perfect. Me as a babyface, played perfect in my opinion. I was bitter, a little bitter and upset because I just felt that I was getting the short end of the stick. And even though a lot of people, in the audience and things like that were cheering and giving me, as a promoter, when a wrestler gets over as a babyface and they really start getting over, the idea would be to push that babyface to make him even bigger, to put the rocket behind him. No, I'm not saying put the rocket, put the whole company behind me. I'm saying, let me go out there and do my thing. Let me prove myself as a singles competitor. And I just felt like that didn't happen, So
Devon, let me say this first because I can add facts to this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking, the Team 3D had done everything and they'd done a lot, and now from a creative standpoint, you look at it like, could we take these two pieces and capitalize twice? You see what I'm saying? You got a live show. You got a show every week. You got 10 segments in the show. Instead of taking this one act, can we make this act two successful acts? I felt very strongly that we could because I knew the two of you very well. Okay.
Right.
And I'm just gonna shoot straight, bro. At the time, Bischoff and Hogan were in the company at the time. So the first pushback I got, bro, was that Bubba had gotten himself in excellent shape. And Devon had it, okay? Now, bro, I know the wrestling business, and I know I'm going to keep hearing that in a closed room because nobody's going to tell Devon that. So the only way we're going to change this is if Vince Russo tells Devon that, and I remember the conversation. I shot straight with you. I'm like, bro, here's the deal. Now, you come back freaking ripped, the best shape I'd ever seen you in my entire life, bro. You did exactly what was asked of you. Okay, now at that point, there is no question in my mind. Now, okay, here he is. He did exactly what we asked him to do. Now he should be given the same stage and the same platform as Bubba. Okay? Now, I want to ask you this, Devon, because I want to get your feelings on this, because I have a different feeling, I think. Why do you think that didn't happen?
I really...
Come on, bro, you got thoughts. Don't give me this baloney. Tell me why you thought that didn't happen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I might have, people might not have seen me in the same light as him. There were talks about maybe being, in a company that was, done by the good old boys, if you know what I mean. And I thought that might have played into it. a little bit at that. It just, I'll be honest with you, Vince. I mean, there's all sorts of speculations of why, it was done. I would like to say that there wasn't an issue with race. I would like to say that, there wasn't a problem with that. Sometimes I don't know, because here's the deal. You get over the way they want you to get over, and yet nothing still happens. What does that tell you? It's like, well, Devon is getting over with the people and this and that. And don't get me wrong, I was extremely happy for Bubba. When Bubba got over, as a heel and being a number one heel in the company, I thought that was great, because he had accomplished a lot in that, in that expanse. So I was like, all right, now it's my turn. And it was just, okay, we're going to bring Devon in for about 2 or 3 TV tapings, and then, we don't have nothing for him. How could you not have nothing? That I didn't get. That I did not get. And then when you were writing stuff and doing things, and still, it was one of those things where we had the perfect plan. We had everything written right there. And still, no, we got to put that on hold because this comes first.
Devon, can I tell you what I think it was? And, bro, I swear to God, Devon, I just ran into Davari, of all people, last night, right? Mm-hmm. And again, in Davari's mind, he was no longer a part of TNA because we were at dinner one night and he chewed my ear off for an hour. And yes, he was annoying the crap out of me, bro. The show was over and I just wanted to eat. But in his mind, that was the reason why 3 weeks later he was out of TNA. So he hasn't talked to me since. He was I went to Lucha Underground. He's trying to ignore me. I finally had to say, bro, hello. And I had a conversation with him. Devon, here's what I think, and I really think this is the truth. Bro, so many bad decisions were made at TNA based on finances, bro. There was so much nickel and diming, bro, on people's contracts, and they're too expensive to go to a house show, or, but Bub is the star now. We can afford to cut, Devon. It was so nickel and dime. Devon, I swear, I tell people this story all the time because it sounds like everybody wants to think it's creative. Everybody wants to put the heat on Vince Russo. It wasn't creative at TNA. It was all dollars and cents. Devon, do you know, I'll never forget this as long as I live. Now, imagine the WWE when I tell you this story. Bro, a meeting was called at TNA once. We all had to go to this meeting, okay? It was an emergency meeting. Bro, you know what the meeting was? The meeting was when anybody in TNA sent a FedEx package to a vendor, right? We had to make sure that the vendor picked up the FedEx charge and not TNA. There was a meeting about that, bro. We're talking about a $10 bill. So bro, when it came to contracts and you had people involved in contracts that didn't have a clue of the wrestling business, bro, they're going to look at the highest numbers and they're going to chop. Bro, I look at now, Devon, this is what I look at. The time you invest in a talent and the money invested and the television time, and then you just let him go. Look at the money invested in an AJ Styles. Look at the money invested in a Samoa Joe. Look at the money invested in a Velvet Sky. You're going to invest that kind of money in these people, and then when their contract is up, you're just not going to renew them. So, bro, so much was nickel and dime when it came to TNA and contract. And, bro, this is how they did it. They went down the list. What number was higher than the other? And me personally, I just think that had a lot to do with it.
You know what? At the end of the day, that's what I came to the conclusion. It was that if I was at a certain number, then maybe that would have been the case. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I came to that conclusion towards the end, and I even told the powers to be at the time. I said, you're not even letting me go out there and earn my money. I was like, you're continuing to let me sit home, but yet you want to complain that I'm making too much. I said, that doesn't make any sense, So again, they did business the way they did, and I felt it was wrong, but they felt that they were right. And I've always said you never have corporate run a wrestling company. You need wrestling minds to run that because they know what really works. Corporate in the wrestling business never, ever, ever worked out. If you don't have wrestling minds to put them in check and tell them, okay, I understand you're doing it from a corporate standpoint, but this is the way it has to do with the wrestling standpoint.
Devon, you had people at TNA involved in those decisions that never even went to a wrestling show. So, like, when I look at a piece of paper and I see Devon and I see a dollar amount, I understand why the dollar amount is what it is. I understand the worth of that talent. There are people making decisions there, bro, that don't even go to wrestling shows.
Mm-hmm.
Devon, I want to ask.
And that's what the problem is, and that's I think back then that's what really went down. So, my thing was at the end of the day when the contract was up, I left. That because I just felt, listen, maybe I had been with the company way too long. Maybe they just didn't believe that the money they were paying me was legit, and they had to get rid of me. So, at the end of the day, I didn't, hold hard feelings. I just said, okay, I took my ball and I went home. And I was getting my body ready for other opportunities if it would occur.
Yeah. Now, Devon, I'm gonna ask you this question because it happened recently, and bro, I know you're gonna give me the whole kayfabe and best for business and.
What's kayfabe?
You're gonna give me it was best for business. Listen, bro, I'm the voice of the fans. I'm the voice of the fans, me right here, bro, and I'm calling a spade, bro. A spade. I'm sitting here watching a Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. Bro, okay? Bro, I don't know who's coming out. I don't know who's coming out for the Rumble. I think it was number 3. Here comes Bully. Bubba Ray. I stand up and I applaud for my boy Bully. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. Good for him, bro. You could see he was like the cock of the walk. You could see he was eating this up in Philadelphia. And I love moments like that, bro, because you deserve that, bro. You deserve that, right? Bro, they tell the story. They set the freaking table in Philadelphia. They set the table. The Devon chant is going in Philadelphia, and all of a sudden, out of the curtain, Max Moon comes out. Whoever it was, bro, it doesn't matter. And it wasn't Devon in Philadelphia. They wrote the story perfectly. Bro, do not sit there and tell me that you're not watching that from home and you're not saying, what the F, bro? Come on now. What's that about?
I was too busy home getting the tables.
Oh, come on, bro. Devon, that, bro, listen, not for anything, bro. That was a crime. I mean, come on, bro. What? What?
No, look, I was very happy. Two things came out. Number one, the Dudley Boyz were still very relevant in WWE. And I can't thank the WWE Universe enough. Number one, to even the talks before the Rumble took place about both of us returning, and it was just such at a high pitch. It was a great feeling to even know that these guys were actually doing that. That's one. Two, to have Bubba come out there and get the response that he got was incredible. And the third was to have everybody in that arena start chanting Devon, we want Devon. It was, to me, it was a good vibe. I mean, I know the fans were pissed off that I wasn't there and that they wanted to see me there, but it is what it is, and hopefully down the line we can do business. Look, Bubba and I have always said we wanted to go back, eventually to finish our careers in the WWE, and I think one day we probably will. Look, you and I both know, and I'm gonna call you on this, and you know this to be true. Sometimes it's not on our time. Sometimes it's on God's time. And
yeah, can I tell you something about that?
There, then I would be there.
Can I tell you something about that? God's time was the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, bro. That was God's time, all right, Devon? Come on now, bro.
said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm sorry, but people's arms are too short to box with God. If God wanted that to happen, you and I both know, come hella high water, I would have been there. So it just wasn't my time to be there.
Devon, let me ask you something now. Let me ask you a question. And I know, bro, God drives the car. I'm with you, and that's hard for us to understand and deal with at times. I completely understand that. But that aside, at this point where you are right now, if you could go out tomorrow and do absolutely what you wanted to do, what would that be?
Well.
Slap the crap out of Mark LaMonaco, bro.
Oh.
Once and for all, get it out of your system, bro. Backhand, boom, boom, boom. Come on, bro. Come on.
There needs to be some hostility. We need to get double.
Nah, bro, come on. Are you kidding? Bro, my phone's going to ring off the hook after this interview, and I'm telling him right now, I ain't answering the phone, bro. No, now listen, I know you got the school. It's a successful school, the 3D Academy. What town is that in Florida?
It's in Kissimmee, Florida. It's called Team 3D Academy. Team 3D Academy of Professional Wrestling, www.team3academyofprofessionalwrestling.com. You can also like us on Facebook as well, Team 3D of Professional Wrestling. And, we have a very good school. I'm very happy.
And you make this clear, Devon. You're there training these guys. A lot of guys have schools. They're not there training. You're training these guys.
Absolutely. I'm here, and Bubba's here as well. When he's not on the road, he's here as well. Yes, absolutely. We are both hands-on here training people at the facility. And, I mean, you're not having somebody come in and have a trainer train you and just put our name on the door. We're actually here training you. If I'm not here, Bubba's here. If Bubba's here and I'm not here, then I'm saying vice versa. We're here hands-on teaching the next incoming stars, how to be pro wrestlers and to get ready for this business. So I'm happy in that aspect to be here. I'm also happy with my boys, Terrence and Terrell. They are doing extremely well. They had their first match in Davie, Florida. Excellent match with a team called Los Pendejos, and they had a great match. I'm very proud of them in that aspect. And again, like I said, one day, if God is willing and the time is right, Bubba and I could, go back for one more run in WWE. Listen, the fans have been very supportive. They've been flooding the emails. I mean, the tweets and the Facebook. I mean, they've been great. So apparently, I think the WWE universe wants us to come back. And me and Bubba, well, let's just say we would be willing to testify all over again.
Well, yeah, I mean, bro, let's face it. I mean, there'd be no other team out there right now if they really wanted to rebuild the tag team division. There is nobody else out there to do it. Like I said, bro, you look at the history. You are the last great team, and on a positive note for them, there's still a lot of gas left in the tank. So if you want to reestablish the tag team wrestling, this is where you start, bro.
Well, let me tell you something. Bubba and I are in the best shape that we've ever been in. I think we're better now than we were 15, 20 years ago. And our minds for this business is even better now than it was 15, 20 years ago. So
think about that. Let me ask you this, Devon. I hate to cut you off, but bro, what about agenting, bro? You'd be a phenomenal agent. What about bro? Even just agenting tag team wrestling, bro, right?
Absolutely. That's been definitely a thought of mine, and I'm pretty much I go around to a lot of the indie shows, especially that my kids are on, my sons are on, and then some of the students that I have here. And I'm there, and I'll help out the younger guys, help to put on a good match at their shows. So I definitely can see myself in that role as well. Listen, the new generation needs that help. And Bubba and I can definitely do that in every way, shape, or form. We can go out there and help. And, whether it be WWE, NXT, whatever. We can go out there and pretty much help these younger guys get to where they need to be so they can take over. We understand there's a youth movement. We get that. We know that. So, we want to be there to help that, because without the new stars becoming stars, there is no wrestling business.
And bro, you know what the beauty of you and Bubba is, bro? You're at the bro. This is how agenting works, okay? And I'm gonna call it spade a spade. This is how it works. There's old timers teaching these younger kids, and they're on different wavelengths because it was just different back then, and these young kids can't relate to them. And then on the other side of the coin, you got the younger agents who never drew a freaking dime in the business. I mean, my gosh, bro, we all saw the end of the Royal Rumble, and what's his name, bro? Who's the security? Mercury and Noble. Jamie Noble's laying out the finish of the Royal Rumble that Mickey Mouse could have laid out, and the finish could have been better. The guy drew 3 cents in his career, and Devon is at home watching the Royal Rumble. I said that. You didn't. Now let me finish. Let me finish my thought. I said that.
So is Mercury.
I said that. I said that, not you. Now let me finish. So you got the older guys that can't relate to the younger guys. You got the younger guys that never drew a penny in the business. You and Bully are right in that sweet spot, bro. Still young enough to be able to communicate with the younger talent, and you are in a business at a point when it made the most money ever. What's the problem, bro?
Well, again,
do you want me to be your agent? Do you want to hire me as your agent, bro? Just say the word, bro. Dump Frank. Frank ain't doing nothing, bro. Come on now. You get me all worked up over here, bro.
Listen, you keep talking like that, I might have to have you sign a contract.
Come on, bro. You guys would be phenomenal, bro.
There's definitely been talk between Bubba and I to take that, to take an agent's role or what have you, in whatever company that would be in. We definitely feel that we can do it, and we definitely feel that we have enough knowledge in the wrestling business to help out the younger guys. So, we want to do that. We want to be able, again, to pass the torch and to make sure that this younger generation really knows what's going on, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We want to do that, and I believe that one day we will do it. When? I'm not sure. Again, it's on God's time, but I believe we will.
Well, you better tell God to get off his backside, bro. Let's start making.
Stop that.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, bro. Now today I'm going to be hit with a lightning bolt when I go outside.
Exactly.
Hey, Devon, let me ask you. Exactly. Hey, bro, let me ask you this. Do you? I don't think you do this, but I want to ask you. Do you run shows out of your school with your students?
Yes, I do. We actually do. We especially do one a year. I'm part of a cancer foundation called Hope for a Single Mom, which what that does is we raise money for single moms with kids, and we donate all of that money. I mean, everybody comes in to help pay the moms while they're going through chemo and all that, because a lot of them lose their jobs. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, go through a lot of struggles, and they can't, pay the light bill. They can't pay the mortgage. We come in, we raise that money, and we pay their mortgage. We pay the light bill. We put clothes on their kids' back. We help them through while they're going through chemo. And we do that once a year. We put on a benefit show for that particular thing. And then we do a show, say once every 4 months in terms of for the wrestling school to get these guys out there. And then we put them on the indie shows as well.
Well, hey, Devon, I'm just curious. How come you don't do it more often? Like, why don't you run monthly shows out of the school?
Well, because Bubba and I were on the road so much, so it was very hard for us to do that. So it was very time-consuming in terms of us just being here on a regular basis, because, again, we didn't want anybody to be here teaching. We wanted to be here to teach. So to be able to go out there and promote a wrestling show at the time when we were working, with TNA, and we were constantly on the road, and then we were doing things back and forth with Japan, we just didn't have time to do it back then, but now we have time to do it, and then that's what we're doing. So we're pretty much setting all of that up now as we speak, actually.
Well, bro, if you get into more shows and you need to bring in a crafty veteran for these young kids to put over, I'll put my name at the top of that list. Former WCW World Champion, bro.
Well, listen, I know that you have that belt somewhere, so why don't we just bring it to one of the shows, and the winner who pins you, basically, you lay down for one of the kids, and maybe.
Let's not get panicked, bro. I'm only coming if I'm going on last and I'm going over. That's the only way I'm coming, bro.
Wait a minute, you lay down for nobody.
Nobody, bro. Next time you come on the show, we gotta have we gotta have the two kids with you, bro.
Oh, absolutely. We'll definitely have them right now. I mean, I'm so proud of them, man. They're doing so well. They're personal trainers at Gold's Gym. One in St. Cloud, the other one at Dr. Phillips, and they're doing really, really, really good.
Is there anywhere, Devon, to see that match you talked about? Is that on YouTube anywhere?
I believe they are going to start putting it. I think they're getting that show together, and it will be on YouTube. Yes, and when I find out, I'll definitely let you know.
Oh, please do know, bro. Contact me and let me know because I'll put it up. I'd love people to see them work, bro.
Absolutely, they are freaking. They're good. They're really, really, really good. So, well, I hate to say it, but they're better than the old man.
Well, bro, they had the size when they were about 10.
I had them on that creatine 3000.
Bro, how big are they now? Just tell everybody how big these kids are.
Oh man, Terrence is I believe Terrence is 6'1", he's 230, 235, and Terrell is 6'2", and he's 245.
That's crazy, bro.
Solid. They're not the little kids that you once saw on the show. Although back then they were big kids for their age.
They were never little kids, bro, ever.
Kids, but they're bigger than that now. Let me tell you. Let me put it to you this way. I used to have to beat their butts when they were younger. Now I got a bat at the side of my bed. So if they ever come in and try to get out, I go for the knees first.
Yeah.
Go for the knees.
Well, Devon, man, listen, bro, it was a pleasure you joining me tonight. I know you did this late at night, and I really, really appreciate it, bro. But, hey, listen, you know I love you. I'll always love you. I'll always be your biggest fan, man, and thanks for spending the time with us tonight.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, Vince. It's been a pleasure. And again, I just want to thank all the wrestling fans for being in our corner for all those years, and even for the Royal Rumble leading up to that. Thank you for all the support that you gave Bubba when he was there. Believe me when I say it, he's so appreciated. And me hearing the Devon chants and helping me and Bubba to trend while that was going on was tremendous. And not to mention, we're still getting tweets, we're still getting Facebook, we're still getting phone calls saying, we want the Dudleys back in the WWE. It's phenomenal. Thank God that they've never forgotten about us, and we appreciate and love each and every one of you.
Well, they never forgot you, bro, for a reason, because you left it all out there in the ring. Every single. You can't forget that, bro. You just can't.
No, and it's been a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, Devon, thanks for joining us, bro, and I will catch up with you soon.
You got it, my friend. Thank you, Vince.
All right, man. Take care.
You got it.